Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. So we are going to take his book compiled by him called al-Wasitiyyah. Al-Aqeedatul-Wasitiyah. Okay, so who is Shaykh Al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah? Obviously, the one lesson, half an hour, which I'm going to use, I will do no justice to him. It's no justice with the author, Shaykh Al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. And scholars have compiled lengthy books about his biography. Lengthy, meaning 200 pages or 500 pages and so on. So. Okay, I'm coming to his name. I haven't mentioned his name. He's known by Shaykh Al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. Okay, let's take what his name and laqab and kunya was. So he هو الإمام الرباني الفقيه المجتهد and so on and so forth. بحر العلوم العقلية والنقلية. Okay, تقي الدين أبو العباس أحمد ابن الشيخ الإمام شهاب الدين Abdul Halim. So let's say his name, his kunya is Abu Abbas. His name is Ahmad ibn Abdul Halim ibn Majduddin Abul Barakat. Okay, Taymiyyah is somewhere ahead. Taymiyyah is, I think, a great grandmother somewhere ahead, and further ahead in the line, because she was known for her knowledge. So the people, meaning her descendant, would, instead of attributing themselves to the father or forefather, because she was the known lady, known lady Taymiyyah, so they attribute it to her. Sometimes it happens. Ismail ibn Ulayya, for example, Ismail, what we say from the Ruwat of the Ahadith and Muhaddis, he been attributed to his mom, because mom was more knowledgeable, more known than father. Okay, so we got his name. His laqab is Taqiyuddin, kunya is Abu Abbas, his name is Ahmad ibn Abdul Halim ibn Majduddin Abul Barakat. So Majduddin Abul Barakat Abdus Salam. Let's say Abdus Salam. Okay, so we will say Ahmad ibn Abdul Halim ibn Abdus Salam. So his grandfather is Abdus Salam, and grandfather also sometimes used to be called Ibn Taymiyyah, Majduddin Ibn Taymiyyah. So when we hear Majduddin Ibn Taymiyyah, so he's not him, rather his grandfather. Okay, لقب بشيخ الإسلام وابن تيمية. His laqab is Shaykh Al-Islam, and he's known with Ibn Taymiyyah. Sometimes we put together, we say Shaykh Al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. And تعرف هذا أبو غدة؟ عنده غدد ها؟
لا
استغفر الله.
هو مؤلف عنده مؤلفات.
عنده مؤلفات but غدد في المنهج أو شيء، نعوذ بالله. أبو غدة. Okay, he says Shaykh Ibn Taymiyyah. Okay, Shaykh Ibn Taymiyyah, deliberately استخفاف. الاستخفاف تعمدا. بدل ما يقول شيخ الإسلام الشيخ ابن تيمية. Okay, Shaykh Al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. When he was born, okay, again Abu Abbas, kunya Taqiyuddin, and Shaykh Al-Islam, all this laqab Taqiyuddin is also laqab, and he used to hate being called Taqiyuddin, because of some sort of tazkiyah is there, Taqiyuddin. Okay, when he was born, 661 Hijri, يوم الاثنين ربيع الأول. Okay, ربيع الأول يوم الاثنين 661, 7th century. From the Hijrah.
In the current era, it's 13th century around.
Okay, from the, I'm not sure. From the Miladi, you say. From the Hijrah 1, 661. Okay, what about his family? أسرته معروفة بالعلم والصلاة إذ أنهم يتوارثون العلم فيما بينهم. So he was known to belong to what we say, knowledgeable family, righteous family. His father himself, what did we say? Abdul Halim, his father's name. His father was an Imam and was qadi, and his grandfather was a scholar, so he was from a good, learned and practicing family. Okay, فشرب الإمام العلم منذ نؤمة أظفاره في هجر أبيه. So he learned from his father, first of all, and then obviously from the scholars available in his area, and then he moved to, he traveled as well, and he learned from other teachers. So apart from his father and grandfather, scholars have mentioned around 200 great shuyukh. Shuyukhuhu, more than 200 or so. What about his talamida, students? Okay, the list of his shuyukh is with me. Some famous shuyukh have been mentioned. Okay, among his talamida, there are hundreds and thousands, let's say. Some of them are very famous. Who is famous? Ibn al-Jawziyyah. Other famous? Allama Zahabi. Who said Allama Zahabi? Allama Ibn Kathir, yes. And I think Mizzi.
Is it the same Allama which is the Ibn Kathir who wrote the
Tafsir?
Yeah?
He's his student.
He was a student of
Shaykh Al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, yes. Okay, Allama Zahabi is again student. Ibn al-Qayyim, obviously famous and known. And Imam Ibn Abdul Hadi. Imam Ibn Abdul Hadi. Imam Ibn Mufleh. All these are famous. They themselves became Allama later on. All these names I have mentioned, they were scholars later on. Okay, وبالنظر إلى تلاميذ هذا الإمام تظهر منزلته, meaning his students later on became big Imam themselves. That tells about his status. Okay, إنه بحر لا ساحل. These are kalimat, meaning obviously he deserves all these description that he is ocean when it comes to knowledge or so. And la sahila lahu, meaning his knowledge was very deep. And I will mention some of the sayings of the scholars. Let me see what they have said about the knowledge of Shaykh Al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. So he was known for his knowledge, and he was known for his ibadah as well, and akhlaq. And scholars, when they talk about Abdullah ibn Mubarak, they mention this issue. They say, generally speaking, we don't see good qualities come together in one person. Apart from the Anbiya also, normal people, someone is good in this aspect. He is generous, but you find he may be lazy, or may not be that zaki, that not be smart, or not be that clever. And some people can be very righteous, practicing and Sawm and Salat, but not good in this aspect, But for Abdullah ibn Mubarak, almost they said that it looks like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given him portion of every good or noble traits and qualities or so. Same thing they say about Shaykh Al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. And scholars are known for their knowledge, and some of them are known for their other service, like participating in the jihad and so on and so forth. For example, among the companions, Khalid ibn Walid for some other, meaning his speciality was different, and some Ibn Hurayra or some Abdullah ibn Abbas are known for their knowledge and so on, and the hadith. But when it comes to Shaykh Al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, they said he was leader in both, as if he was holding book in one hand and
sword.
Yes. So he was known to participating in he was mujahid, as well as imam, mudarris and qazi and mufti and so on and so forth. And not only just mujahid. When you go to his biography, he was what we say active, and he was encouraging other people. He used to encourage the umara, the people in authority. Why you are scared for? Don't you believe in Allah's promise and so on and so forth? Why you not yes, why you are scared that the Tatar and those other people, the enemies, are going to attack and so on and so forth? Have good faith, and he would encourage. And sometimes he would come to know that the enemy, what they used to do, divide and rule. They would come and say, look, we will give you this and that. Yes, don't help the other one. we are going to attack him, you to stay neutral, and so on and so forth. Or sometimes they would come and say, let us attack your own people. We don't touch you, the family, the Hakim of family Usra, we don't touch you, we don't. And when Shaykh Al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah would come to know, he would go directly to them and give them nasiha. And even during the jihad, when he was participating, he would move to this area, that area, wherever is the need, and he would encourage them and said, look, this is what is required, and be sure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help. So he was very active in that aspect as well, Shaykh Al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. Okay, كما يؤمن بكرامات الأولياء. Some people have mentioned about some of the karamat. Let me mention few. He was known for his. Okay, what about the karamat of Shaykh Al-Islam Taymiyyah? Apart from being mustajab al-dawat, okay, apart from being that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would, generally speaking, would answer his du'as also, he was known for some other thing, farasatul mu'min also. What farasatul mu'min means? Getting an idea beforehand.
Foresight.
Foresight, and more than foresight, let's say. So yes, the author has mentioned one of the stories that he went to visit the Bimaristan. Bimaristan means the hospital, let's say.
Yeah.
Pakistan, Hindustan, Bimaristan is the Farsi word, I think.
Yeah.
So he would go regularly to visit sick people in the hospital. So there was a young person sick. So he went to visit him and he made dua. He said, Allah grant him cure. Okay, and next day, so the young person coming to visit him, and he was all right, healthy. So he said, look, now you got healthy, now you're healthy, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given you the health, go back to your family. What you have done is wrong. You have left your wife and 4 daughters, meaning who are dependent upon you, and you left her and you came here, go back and join them. And he was shocked how Shaykh came to know, because he was new in the area. No one knew about him. So he was surprised how Shaykh came to know that I came from the other place and left a wife and children behind. Me behind in the sense that there is no one to look after them. So he promised. And not only this one, scholars have mentioned number of things. Number of examples. This is not to claim that he had the knowledge of unseen, Nauzubillah. We don't believe the Prophet ﷺ had the knowledge unseen altogether. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala quality, and he is the only alimul ghaib wa shahada. But sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives this special type of, we call karama. I mean mu'jizat for the anbiya and karamat for these righteous people. Okay, let's come to his karam. Before the last thing that we'll talk about his knowledge later on, his akhlaq and his karam. Okay, what about his akhlaq and wara? Many things have been mentioned about his akhlaq. I mean, the good akhlaq that he had was rare to be seen in other people at that time. Meaning after the anbiya and the sahaba and those righteous aimma passed away in the first few generations, it was rare. He was known for his good akhlaq as well, and generosity. Once a man came to see him, and he saw that he's not having amama also. So Shaykh Al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah had the amama. He cut into 2 pieces. He kept half, and he said, without him asking, he said, take this half and you use. And any time any student would ask any book or so, even though the books are very precious thing to the people of knowledge and scholars, but he wouldn't feel shy, or he wouldn't stay behind, and he would offer. And the good akhlaq is also, he's known for his good akhlaq, for his humbleness. Humbleness is so much so that meaning, yes, when he would travel with his student, he would the one who would carry the book. For example, they are going to have a lecture somewhere, and his students would say, I will carry your bag or the book, or he would say no. And he would refuse to sit on the, what we say, like they would have a special place for the teacher, for the mufti. He would refuse. So we talked about a little bit akhlaq and his jihad and his tawadhu and ithar ma al-faqr. Ithar ma al-faqr means is giving something, giving a preference to other people, people's need, even though you yourself are in need. Even though you yourself is need. ويوثر على نفسه رأى الشيخ محتاجا. Okay, karam, I have mentioned very little about his karam. His wara and taqwa, obviously keep talking about his wara and taqwa. Taqwa means he used to follow Islam properly and perfectly, and yes, and was not known to get involved in the business, going to the market, buying, and meaning he devoted his life seeking knowledge and spreading the knowledge of Islam. So from the 17 years old, he memorized Quran even far before. When he became 17 or 18, his father passed away, who used to be the Qazi or Mufti or so. So he been appointed, given the, and when he took the position of his father, so among those pupils, students were big scholars, and they were just looking how he's going to behave or so. And in the very first meeting, after the very first meeting, they were impressed. I mean, the great scholar, in this case, senior scholars, they were impressed with his knowledge. And he would not, meaning part of tawazu and part of what we say, having the helpful nature, was so much so that anyone who would come and ask, he would not get upset or fed up. And not only give the answer, what we say, for the little question, he would bring relevant all issues together. Let's say someone asks something, he would give the answer, dalil from the Quran, Sunnah, relevant issues that would benefit the questioner more than the question that he came up with, and would not get fed up. Scholars have mentioned particularly this issue that it is the questioner who would leave. Like we find in the Prophet ﷺ that when he took musafa, he won't leave the hand unless the other person would be the first. So something similar they have said about Shaykh Al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. Okay, his aqeedah was taken from the Quran and Sunnah, and that was his madhab as well. Even though he was from the family of Hanabila or Hanbali family, but he never, what we say, meaning he was not a follower, or let alone being blind follower. He himself was mujtahid. He would, in many issues, he went against the madhab of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. He would directly take from the Quran and Sunnah and ask people to refer back to the Quran and Sunnah. Okay, as for his munazarat, what munazarat means?
Debates.
The debates, yes, the debates. So it wasn't only his participation in jihad against the kuffar and Tatar and so on, and Nasara at that time, and Yahud. He, meaning the other firaq and milal, the deviated one, he used to deal with those issues as well. Debating, correcting, refuting, destroying the shubhat and fitan. So busy in different fronts. Busy and yes, at different fronts. That's why we find he wrote books against Milal and Nahal, against the Qadriya and the Shia Minhaj Sunnah, and refuting the Nasara and so on and so forth. Al-Jawab al-Sahih liman baddala din al-Masih. So he was busy, and the Ahlul Kalam and Falasifa and Mutakallimin, Naqzul Mantiq, and so on and so forth. And not only refuting them, knowing the mazhab, knowing the dalil, knowing their mazhab, knowing the dalil and how they are doing istidlal, and then refuting. Okay, let's take a few of the things that scholars have said regarding his knowledge. Okay, regarding his akhlaq we talked about, let me mention one thing. The famous saying of his student Ibn al-Qayyim. He said, "Wadittu anni li asdiqai mithlahu li adai," or something. What it means, he said, I wish I could treat my friends Ibn al-Qayyim is saying, I wish I could treat my friends the way Shaykh Al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah would treat his opponents. Think about what he's saying. Think about what he's saying. Ibn al-Qayyim says, I wish I could treat my friends fairly the way that Shaykh Al-Islam would treat with his enemies and opponents. What happened? He obviously, because him being on the Sunnah and refuting the people of Bid'ah and the deviant sects, there were many enemies to him. Many enemies to him. Okay, the Shia and those Sufiya and the Ashab al-Kalam Falsafa, all of them became enemy because he was talking against them and refuting them, destroying them and calling them towards Book and Sunnah. So he had many enemies. So I think Ibn Makhluf of someone very famous, his opponent, died. Okay, Ibn al-Qayyim came giving good news. Okay, obviously why good news? Because he used to, the opponent used to backbite and used to provoke the people on authority and deliver fatwa that he is deviant and so on and so forth. And he has been put in prison a number of times. So he went through those trials and tribulations. That's why his student Ibn al-Qayyim came saying, okay, good news, that guy died today. And he got upset. He said, no, it's not a good news. If your enemy opponent, yes, he is upon Islam to somehow within the, it's not a good occasion, it's not something to be happy. Okay, I think that is off or what? Why is not? Can you put in the other one? Take this one. Oh, okay. And look what happened. Not only he got upset with his student, with the expression, he said, no, it's not an occasion to be happy. He went to his home. He went consoling to his family members and he said to him, look, you have lost your father, I'm there. Whatever you, meaning the way you used to use your father or ask for help or so, I'm there to do. So don't worry if you have lost your loved one or father or so and so forth. So that is the occasion when Ibn al-Qayyim said, I wish I could treat my friends that the way he would go about to treat his opponents and so, Ibn al-Qayyim. Okay, two things before we conclude. One is about his knowledge, what scholars have said, and one is some of his famous sayings, some of his famous statements that he made. Okay, let's come to the Aqwal ulama fi. Okay, regarding the Aqwal ulama, I'm not going to mention all. I'm going to mention few of his students who became big scholars later on, what they said, like Ibn Daqiq al-Eid, Allama Dhahabi, and so on and so forth. Let's see what Ibn Daqiq al-Eid said. He said, لما اجتمعت بابن تيمية رأيت رجلا كل العلوم بين عينيه. Ibn Daqiq al-Eid, Imam Ibn Daqiq al-Eid, he himself is a great scholar and compiled a number of books. He said, when I got together with Ibn Taymiyyah, I saw him like every knowledge in his front of his eyes. كل العلوم بين عينيه. If everything is open and present in front of his eyes, taking whatever he wants and leaving dismissing or leaving whatever he wants. For example, like the whole Quran and the whole Sunnah is in front of him. Okay? يأخذ ما يريد ويدع ما يريد. وقلت ما كنت أظن أن الله بقي يخلق مثله. And he said, I told him, I don't think that anyone else are going to be like you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to. I mean, many scholars have said, they said that we haven't seen someone like him, neither he has seen someone like him. Okay, so he wasn't only, what we say, had great or deep knowledge in the fiqh, or in the tafsir, or in the usul, or in the aqeedah, every Islamic science. It's coming. The scholars have said that when he would speak about tafsir, one would think that this is his field. This is his specialty. When he would speak in the fiqh, one would assume of the other scholars that this is his special, meaning he has yes, he's expert in this. only, for example, that's what they said. But he was expert in almost all. So he was ayah, meaning he was a sign and not a normal human being in the sense. Okay, Imam Zahabi, let's say what he said. Imam Zahabi is one of his students and contemporary as well. Obviously, when you are student, you are contemporary. And he himself became a great scholar later on, Sir Al-Munabla, and many other famous books, Allama Zahabi. He says, كان آية من الذكاء وسورة الإدراك راسا في معرفة الكتاب والسنة والاختلاف بحرا في النقليات وهو في زمانه فريد أسره علما وزهدا وشجاعة وسخاء وأمرا بالمعروف ونهيا عن المنكر وكثرة التصانيف. وقال أيضا هو أكبر من أن ينبه على سيرة مثله. He's saying he is far bigger. Who am I to talk about his biography? I mean, he is far big than I can describe. فلو هلفت بين الركن, if I have to make a qasam between the Kaaba, meaning near the Kaaba, between Rukn and Maqam, if I take qasam and make the statement that I haven't seen someone like him and he himself hasn't seen someone, I don't think that I have made a wrong statement. He says if I were to make the statement by taking qasam near to the Kaaba, so I don't think that I have made a wrong statement. So قال الإمام علم الدين البرزالي كان إماما لا يلحق غبار في كل شيء بلغ رتبة الاجتهاد. وكيف سيد الناس ألفيت ممن أدرك من العلوم هزا وكان يستوي السنن والآثار حفظا إن تكلم في التفسير فهو حامل. One of his students, Imam Ibn Sayyid al-Nas, is saying if he would speak in tafsir, it would look like that he is the leader Imam in this field. حامل, right, meaning holding the banner. إن أفتى في الفقه فهو مدرك غايته أو ذاكر بالحديث فهو صاحب علمه. So obviously قال الإمام مزي ما رأيت مثله, I haven't seen someone like him, and he himself hasn't seen someone like him. وما رأيت أحدا أعلم بكتاب الله, I haven't seen anyone who has got more knowledge of the book of Allah and Sunnah of Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم than him. إن لم يكن شيخ الإسلام شيخ ابن تيمية فمن هو. Imam Hariri says if he is not the Shaykh, then who else? Okay, and these things are too many. Ibn Hajar Asqalani, is he a student? No, he came thereafter. He came after. Okay, let's take some of his famous statements and then conclude. Stop. Was he married, boys?
No.
No.
No?
No.
Who else had not been married? Imam Bukhari?
No.
Huh? Imam Nawawi.
Yeah.
Imam Bukhari as well?
No, Imam Bukhari was much before them.
No, I'm saying who else from the big scholars haven't been married like Ibn Taymiyyah? Someone said Imam Nawawi, yes. Okay, so what I said, some of these famous statements, very famous one. Let's see where it is. Shaykh Al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. When he passed away anyway, Wafatuhu wa Rasa'uhu, 728. Again, Tuwfiya Laylat al-Ithnain. Born on the Monday and passed away on the Monday, Zulqada 728. So how many years he lived? 661 and 728. Calculation.
For 67.
Okay,
661 and 728, yeah?
Hmm.
Yeah, 67. So he was born on the 1241 and he passed away on 1308.
Okay, so how you are converting the Hijri to?
Because I know that it's just rough approximation. 1980 was the 1400 Hijrah. So
Okay.
just calculation that, but I know there's 1 or 2 years of difference because lunar calendar is 355 days or 354, where the solar system, solar calendar is 365.25. Every 36 years there's a gap of 1 year.
Okay, 5 minutes quickly and then we'll stop. Just a couple of sayings. المؤمن مامور بأن يفعل المأمور ويترك المهزور ويصبر على المقدور. الذكر للقلب مثل الماء للسمك. Means dhikr for the heart is like the water for the fish. Zikr of Allah. إن في الدنيا جنة من لم يدخلها لا يدخل جنة الآخرة. Meaning there is a Jannah in the dunya. If anyone hasn't entered in the Jannah, how is going to enter the Jannah of the? What he means, there is a Jannah in the dunya. Huh? Okay, let's say altogether that the enjoyment of the iman, when you feel happy, worshipping Allah, doing dhikr, like some of the scholars said, لو علم الملوك وابناء الملوك ما نحن فيه لجادلونا بسيف. That's what he says in the dunya. Okay, المحبوس من حبس قلب ربه. Okay, one of the famous saying, ما يصنع أعدائي بي. Pay attention. What he's saying, ما يصنع أعدائي بي أنا جنتي وبستاني في صدري أين رحت فهي معي لا تفارقني إن حبسي خلوة وقتلي شهادة وإخراجي من بلدي سياحة. Okay, what he says that what it means is what my enemies are going to do with me. ما يصنع أعدائي بي, meaning his opponents, enemies who used to provoke the people in authority and ask him to put in the jail, he's deviated, he's this and that. So he said, oh, what they are going to get from me? Why? Oh, okay, they are being successful in getting him put in prison, but look what he's saying. He's saying, Ana wa jannati wa bustani fi sadri. My Jannah and my garden is with me, in my heart. Okay? So wherever I go or been taken, my Jannah is with me. The Iman is with me. The zikr of Allah and the enjoyment with the ibadah is with me. Inna habsi khalwa. When they are putting me in prison, I'm getting opportunity to be with Allah. Khalwa means the seclusion, to be with Allah. Wa qatli shahada. If I'm going to get killed, okay, it will be obviously if you get killed unjustly, you are shaheed. Wa ikhraji min balli siyaha. If I'm forced to leave, it will be siyaha in the earth. Fasihu fil ard. Okay. And the tarif of the iman of the ibadah, very famous. What did he say regarding ibadah? Kullu amalin ismun jami'un. Yes. Okay, the sayings are, he has mentioned few. That's enough for today. And inshallah we'll start there. The book Shaykh Al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah Rahimahumullaah. Okay, anyone who Shaykh Al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, Imam Bukhari, Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, these were the real scholars of the servants of the Islam and Muslims and followers of the Sunnah. And everyone who is upon Sunnah, they love these people. And love before these people, Sahaba and Anbiya obviously. And anyone who holds a negativity, it is sign of deviation in his heart of something wrong with him. Okay, subhanakallah wa bihamdika.